Hi Stampers, my name is Sandy Hancock. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm coming to you from Southern California. Last weekend I had my Stampin' Open House, my annual one, and we had so much fun. Oh my goodness. My friend Esther came out the week before. We spent 4 hours just pulling things out and getting them lined up. And then Carol came down on Monday from Ripon, spent the week with me, and we stamped and continued getting ready. And then we just had so much fun with the people who came. And I want to show you some of the cards that I was showing at the open house. And most of these cards, in fact, all the cards use the Mediterranean Blooms set in some way. Sometimes on this one, for instance, it's just the papers. And then on the other ones, it's the papers and the dies for the most part. But anyway, let's start with this one. And these dies are out of the Wildflower Designs. And it's on page 41. Let's take a look at that. I had my eye on these dies from the very beginning because now that I don't have the scallop contour dies anymore, oh sad, I have to find some more dies that I can layer. So I thought, okay, let's give these a try. So that's what this first card is made with, even though I am using the Citrus Blooms DSP. So let's get our parts out. I've already scored my card. It's just your regular 5.5 by 8.5. And then I have a piece of white for the front. So you know what? Let me just go ahead and put that on. Get it out of the way. Maybe move that. Okay, so we're just going to do this. Then you have a choice with how to do this next part. Okay, you can either do one piece of DSP. Hey, that one looks a little fatter than the other, but I guess they're okay. You can either do just one piece of DSP. Instead of making it 1/4 of an inch smaller, I don't know what I did with my paper that had it written down for you. I made it 5 1/8, so it's 1/8 of an inch smaller than normally you come down 1/4 of an inch, but this is 1/8 of an inch down. And then my panels are 1 7/8 inches. And I had that written down and I have no idea where it got to. So anyway, you could put just one piece of DSP across there, but I kind of like the white space showing in the middle. So let's just put these on. It adds a subtle interest to the card is what it does, but it would also be pretty if you don't want to fool with cutting panels or if you don't like 1/8 of an inch. Some people don't like to cut 1/8 of an inch. So whatever suits your fancy, that's what you get to do. Is that even? Probably not entirely, but I think it's going to have to do. Okay, so there's our base. Then I'm going to show you, this is for the inside. Okay, these are the dies that I used from the Wildly Flowering. Now for these first pieces, you can cut these out at the same time. Put them together. You're going to get this big green frame. And you're going to get the scallop frame, and you're going to get the piece that goes inside. Now I did go ahead and I cut a second scallop frame because I really wanted this part to have just a little bit of lift to it. And then in between there was this little tiny piece of cardstock that I'm throwing out. Okay, then for the front here, what I'm doing is using the little die that goes inside of those, and I'm going to use Garden Green and Just Love Spending Time with You, which is from the So Sincere set, which is the one I designed and I happen to love. And so I'm just gonna take that, go cut it out, and I end up with this. So, all right, so all of these dies then are the ones that I used out of Wildly Flowering to make this particular card. So we'll put them away. Okay, so I thought I would start with the frame. You know, I'm just so spoiled to have the scallop contour dies, and they just make the most beautiful layers, and they're just the right size, and You know, so I'm just kind of trying to figure out how to revamp my life now that I don't have the scallop contour dies anymore. So that was a big reason I wanted to get these. Okay, now I cut, like I said, I cut a second one of these because I wanted to give it just a little tiny bit more height. Okay, so we'll just put this on like this. Great. Okay, then I went ahead and I thought, okay, well, no, actually what I did is I did this. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's a little bit small for this card. You know, I wish it was a little bit bigger. So that's when I thought, okay, fine. I'm going to use this one and see what that does for the card. So I'm just adding this. Again, it's pretty easy to get it lined up because of the white space in the center. Okay, so there we go. So then I had this. I'm thinking, ew, I don't like this. There's too much citrus paper showing through. So I decided to take this out and put in the green piece that was naturally cut out to cover up some of the citrus paper. As much as I like it, I don't need to see that much. I thought, okay, I'm liking this better already. Then I'll go back and put my green one in. Okay. Of course, it's crooked. Let's see if we can straighten it out. But when that green piece that I put behind it, when it covered up some of the paper, then I really liked it. I love the paper. I still think you can see plenty of it. Okay, so then I'm going to, I'm going to take my Take-A-Pick. I'm going to add these are, let's see, what can I say? Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And I'm going to add one big one, 2 little ones. Let's see if I can move it over a teeny bit. Okay, pretty happy with that. And then it needs a little bow. Now I will be the first to admit that the little bow I made for it is not in our catalog. I mean, this particular trim, but I think everybody's got, I think I better add another one. Didn't go well. Everybody has some kind of silver trim. Okay, so anyway, that's super cute. I would make the bow for you, but you can't learn how to make a bow by watching somebody do it. You actually have to do it yourself. Okay, then I'm going to just put another piece of white inside. And it's just 1/4 of an inch smaller. Kind of plain. And I think I put a little flower in here. Let's see, did I? Nope, I just left this plain. Okay. All right, so this one I guess I can think of, maybe something I can put inside, but I'm really happy with the front of it. I would smile a lot if I got this card. Okay, so there's card number 1. Okay, card number 2 is again using, this time I'm going to use dies on the DSP, and I'm using countryside corners, and this navy DSP is also from the Citrus Blooms DSP. The Just For You is from my So Sincere set, and then I'm using Stylish Shapes to cut that out. So let me see where my pieces are. Here they are. Okay, so for this card, I went ahead and I put the painted texture embossing folder on the front of this card. I was so sad when I thought I didn't see this in the catalog. And then when I looked online, there it was. And I went, oh my word. I just love the painted texture die because it gives some texture without giving too much texture. Okay, so there's that. And then you're going to take the country side corner dies. You're going to put the 2 big ones together. This is the 2 largest ones. And then you're going to cut out the DSP with this. This one we're going to use on the front. And this one is going to be a little surprise for the inside. So let me just put that aside. And then I took, again, this configuration and cut it out in Night of Navy. Now, this inside part that's Night of Navy, I just put it in with my scraps. So it will be used at another time. Okay, I'm gonna need that again in a minute. So, and then I don't need this part anymore. Okay, so what I discovered, the very first time I made a card like this, you may have seen me make a card like this before in black and white. Nope, not this. I'm gonna put the frame on first. I put the DSP on first, and I could never get it straight. So then I figured out, oh, you put the frame on first, which is a little bit easier. I'm not sure why, but it is. So now that I say that, let's see if I can get it on here straight. Not quite. This needs to come up a little tiny bit. Is that good enough? I think that's pretty good. Okay, so then I can, oh, look how pretty that is. This is the back side of the Night of Navy. Isn't that gorgeous, the oranges? Okay, so now we will just slip this right inside like that. Oops. Okay, one more time. I try to get all the white covered up. There we go. Okay. All right, now one of the dies cuts out, I'm just about through this sheet of paper, but there are two dies. One cuts out the 3 oranges and one cuts out the 1 orange. And of course there are 2 sheets of this. So it just fits on here. Look at that, part of that leaf is gone. That makes me so sad. Anyway, this is what I did for this card. I cut this out, and then I cut out 2 separate white pieces to go behind it, just to give it a little more depth and support. So let's put these pieces together. Oops, there's a little piece that needs to come out. Okay, so we'll just put the 2 white pieces together. Yep, there we go. And then we'll add this beautiful paper. My friend Carol said that this looks like California paper with the oranges and the lemons. I know where I used to live before, over in Dewarty, it used to be orange groves. In fact, maybe even out this far, it was orange groves. Okay, so now we're just going to add this to the front of the card. So this one, once you get the pieces cut, it takes a minute to cut the pieces, but once you get the pieces cut, this goes together pretty quickly. And it's just, ooh, it's so elegant. Okay, now, the Just For You, oh shucks, I already put that away, or did I? Okay, I used one of the, let me pull it out and show you. Okay, I used this. This is from, like I said, So Sincere. Then I just put this on there from Stylish Shapes and cut it out. Move that back out of the way. Then I'm going to take a pair of scissors and cut this down just a little bit more, not too much more, a little bit more. And we're going to slip this in under here. Oops, come on. Just about like that. Just for you. Okay. And then we're going to get some rhinestones. And we'll just add a rhinestone to the center of each flower. Beautiful. Okay, now I could be done, but I want to show you these 2 cards. Okay, so corners cut, corners not cut. If you never saw this one, maybe this one would be really pretty, but I think when you cut the corners, it just steps up the elegance of the card a notch. So let me remind you how to do that. If you did not see the earlier video that I made, I'm just going to take the dies. All you need is the big one, but I just don't want to take them apart. Okay, and you're just going to cut like that and then move it to corner number 2. Do the same thing. This only takes a second to do. Oh, whoop, there goes the tape. And then last corner. Okay. Now let's clean up my mess. Okay. Doesn't that just give it a step of elegance? So beautiful. All right, now inside, what we're going to do is we're going to take this frame that got cut out when the big piece of designer paper from the front got cut out, and we're going to put it inside, and this is going to be a complete surprise to anybody who receives this card, because I've never seen anything like this in a card. So let's see if we can kind of center this. I think that's close. Is that close? I think so. All right, wouldn't that be a nice surprise? Boom. Wow, I can hardly wait to send this to somebody. I haven't sent this card yet. Okay, so there's card number 2. Now, card number 3, I will have to be honest with you. Let's see, where are all my pieces? I may not even make it for you. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. This one is a little fussy. I have 2 more to show you after this. I'm not going to make 2 more after this, but I have 2 more to show you after this that are like super simple. This one is a little fussy, but I think it's pretty cute. So let me show you how I did it. Once again, I'm using the citrus dies. And let's see, I'll need one of those. All right. So here are the dies. And when you use just this one, let me see. Okay, by itself, you're getting this. Okay, without this rounded piece that goes on the outside. And this is gorgeous. This is the only time I've really used that second piece of the die. So this is what you're getting. However, if you add this piece right here, then let me show you what you're going to get. Okay, so you're getting this rounded with the beautiful corners. Okay, I think it's really, really pretty. So what I'm going to do, let me get my pieces here out of the way. Okay, so you would just take this and run it through the die. And when you do, this is what you're going to get. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is the first time I've used this beautiful die on DSP. I've always just used it on cardstock. So what I'm going to do, and see, here's another piece that I'm going to put behind it, because if I just do this, no, it doesn't really pop. If I put white there, then it pops, and I can put something pretty on the front like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's put some, I think I'm going to get a different one. Okay, so I'm going to put my adhesive here. Oh, it's right here, put on my face. All right, put my adhesive using Dotto, which Stampin' Up! Used to sell. And I do like it because I can change my mind. I've changed my mind after a few minutes. I've changed my mind after a year. So yeah, believe it or not, when I was going through cards, getting ready for the open house, I found a couple of cards I wished looked a little bit differently because I used Dotto when I made them. I was able to just switch them up. Made me happy. Okay, can we get this lined up? Yeah, I think so. Here we go. We're all lined up. Okay, so now we're going to put this onto the lemon lolly. I was supposed to say lemon lime. Lemon lolly. And then, oh, I have to show you the, well, I've already done this. Okay. Well, let me just take a second. Okay. When I take this off, okay, I have just this piece. And again, I really wanted the corners to match the design of the centerpiece. And I will have to tell you, it is a bit of a pain to do this, and I didn't do it perfectly, but I think it's still okay. So what I did is I put on my die, I made it, this is the fold, so I didn't want to cut the fold. So I pulled the die out past the fold and then taped it. And then I put it in my cutting machine and just ran it a little bit so that it just cut the corner. And I did this one, obviously. Hello, I cut that one a little bit too much, but once you put this on there, I'm gonna be happy. It is a little fussy to do that, but let's see, I like the way it looks. So anyway, I was willing to do the fussing. And we will get this on here like this. Okay. And then I took Happy Birthday. This is from Wanted to Say dies. I've really enjoyed these dies, and I'm so glad they're still around. So I took 2 of the bases for Happy Birthday, and I put them together. So this is called just kind of sandyizing the card, I guess. I love to just put layers together, and a lot of times I'll do that instead of using dimensionals. Okay, then Happy Birthday is going to be in white, and that is just going to fit right on here. I like the 2 bases because it just lifts it up again and makes it a little more interesting. So now we'll just add this to the birthday. See if we can hit the right spots for birthday. Okay. All right. Then we'll just add this to the center of the card. Like this. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness. It really pops when it's got that white behind it. See if we can get it on straight. That would be better. Okay. Then once again, I'm going to take gems. And I'm going to add a large one here and 2 small ones. I guess one there and one there. Okay. Then on the inside, I'm going to put another layer of this white that's been cut out. It's just that one die. So just do this like this when you're ready to cut the white, just the one die. And this covers up, yes, a multitude of imperfection. I don't think that's quite straight. Yeah, I think people are going to be happy that get this card, and I hope they don't look at every little possible thing I did wrong. Okay, so then in the Wanted to Say dies, there's a cute little present, and we put that in Garden Green, and then I put the little bow in Lemon Lolly, and then we'll grab one more. What did I do with my pick? We'll grab one more little one, put it right there. Okay, there you go. So that one, yes, a little bit fussier, but I still like it a lot. All right, then I want to show you. Now this card I used Thoughtful Journey DSP. Honestly, this particular design doesn't really appeal to me a lot, but look what happens when you put the white over it. Oh my word, it is a beautiful scene. It's just gorgeous. So that's what I did. And then my friend Carol used my colored pencils that are Stampin' Up's colored pencils, and she colored this in. I think she colored this in yellow, a tiny bit of red, a little bit of Calypso, and then I added some Cajun Craze and then put 3 rhinestones, a couple of rhinestones there. I thought about trying a greeting, couldn't think of a greeting that would really work there without covering up the beauty of it. So we just decided to put Love You on the inside, and then I just put the smallest butterfly there. Pretty, huh? Just very simple. Okay, then the last one that I want to show you is, again, very simple. This one is the Meandering Meadows designer paper. And initially, I'll have to show you, I don't know which way this goes. Yeah, initially I put white over it, and Do you ever make something and just let it sit for a day or so, looking at it and going, this is just not right, I don't like it? And I had cut out the boho blue, but I thought I didn't like it. But then after a day or so, I came back, put the boho blue on it, and I thought, wow, that is really pretty. So I showed it to Carol, and I go, Carol, do you think this is pretty? And she goes, yes. So I haven't figured out a little greeting yet for that one. I might put a little circle here, or I might just leave it plain. And then inside, we just decided to put a little strip with some hot pink, which the name is escaping me at this moment. Okay, so here we go. We've got 5 cards. I think it's 5. There we go, and there we go. If you want to take a picture of all of them, or maybe you have already taken pictures. Okay, can you see them? Okay, so there you go. Citrus blooms, wildly flowering here, and countryside corners there. So it's a little bit of a mishmash of, but citrus blooms is somewhere in there on every card. And it was just so much fun creating these. So once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.